Hi everybody, good evening, and Aarohi Coversity is live again. This time with a special guest. She's Arpita, and she's not just part of Aarohi community. She's closely associated with the Aarohi Coversity as a guide, and she has been interacting with the Coversity uh, youth in many different ways. So let's understand from her perspective how she has enjoyed this journey of being with the CoVersity members, as well as how has she interacted, guided them, and how does she see this whole youth kind of growing in their whole professional journey. So since many of you may not know what is CoVersity, CoVersity is a space for 14 to 21-year olds to really uh, grow and discover their passions and grow it into professions, or rather build their own professions by leading their own journey and by working with other youths who are doing the same journey. So it's like a co-versity. It's kind of coming together and and doing it together. That's the whole idea of co-versity, and doing it not just together, but by doing it uh, by working in the industry, by actually taking projects, assignments from actual clients. And so it's more like working to learn. So that's what is coversity. It's a together space um, for youth to kind of join in. So I'm just waiting for Arpita um, to join in. uh, just give me one moment. Right, I think she's just about.
Hi, Ratne.
Hey, hi, Arpita.
Hi.
Hi. Super to have you here. While I just started the live, I was just giving people a very quick, brief intro of what CoVersity is. And I was just telling them I'm waiting for Arpita to join. So good to have you here. As I was telling everybody, Arpita is not just part of community, but Arpita is also a guide to the CoVersity youth, and somebody who has been watching them. So it'll be good to hear from her how she looks at this journey of coversity. So before we go there, Arpita, a little share about yourself, what all you do in your life, and yeah, where are you in your journey before we get on with the coversity journey? Yeah.
Okay, so hi everyone. I am Arpita. I'm a fashion designer by profession, but by passion, right now I am a video content creator. Yeah, I talk about sustainable fashion and everything. So I am part of Aarohi also. So there I be part of all the things wherever possible and try to help the youth. So that's about it.
And you have a daughter, you didn't mention
Oh
about that.
yes, I have a 11-year-old who is into open learning. We are part of this Aarohi community, and through that process, I understood and I learned about open learning, and now we are part of this whole community, and we are enjoying it. Both of us, me and my daughter, we are really enjoying this journey.
So, Arpita, we have been talking about, in especially last 2 months, about this concept of, or this journey of coversity, which the youth of 14 to 21 can take in media, in Instagram, everywhere. But you have seen them closely. You've worked with them. So, what is your view about this whole coversity journey? Let's take a top view first before we dive into the details.
Okay, so I've seen all these youngsters coming together and creating their own ideas into reality. So that's the overall thing which I have noticed and I have seen. And then once every youth, every kid, I don't want to call them kid. So what do we call them?
Youth or young adults or
Okay,
whatever.
young adults. So all these young adults, each one has their own ideas, their own passion. They uh, like when I'm sitting with them, they have so many ideas. They want to put them into practical happening things. So that's how the coversity works on like overall. Yeah, so then when we go deep into it, there are different steps. So shall we go deep into it now, Ratnesh?
Sure, sure, sure. Okay. The first thought that comes to all of our minds, including I'm sure you, is that, hey, and you already talked about, is that they are leading their own life or decisions, and they are designing. So how have you seen that happening? What to you has been your key highlights of them being self-directed learners or leading their own life? In fact, I don't even like self-directed learning. I like the word self-leadership. How do you see that? And especially youth with that, packed with that energy, how do they do it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I have design background. So being in that, I looked at this design youth, the youth who are interested in design skills. So when I was in their age, I was always told to do many things. So I know only that way. So initially, I felt like telling them everything, like this is done this way, you can do this way, all those that kind of approach. But
Yeah.
slowly, with their way of things, then I understood I should step back and let them do what they are doing, and they are doing the best. They are like they're figuring out the way they want to learn, what they want to do. They plan their day. They just go about it and find ways to figure it out. So that's the best
Yeah.
part I felt.
You
So
want to share any anecdote you had with any of the youth of the CoVersity of Aarohi?
yeah, can I take names also? Is that all right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they won't mind it. So you
Yeah.
can go ahead. I'll
Okay.
tag them also.
Okay. So I worked closely with Shreya. Shreya is
Mm,
a designer, I can say, because she's already working with client projects. So
mm,
when she was not working with these projects, I was like giving her all what to say, gyan. So she
mm,
didn't needed that. So I understood and I stepped back. Slowly, I started observing her. She went so deep into every bit of it. I was like surprised. Without anybody's support, she is going so deep into each thing. So for example, she was designing logos. So
mm,
when I am observing her, she went so deep into it. She was even trying it out. She looks at some objects and then she takes break, and after 2 seconds she tries to remember it. So I'm like, wow, what a process. She's just doing so many things by herself. She's figuring it
mm,
out by
mm.
herself. And finally, she came up with a beautiful logo. And she's been doing logos for different brands already, like paid projects. So I'm like too surprised. I'm like just stepping back and watching her grow as a designer. So that's the best part I felt. She is like
And
growing
so in this
beautifully.
whole journey, what all was she deciding on her own? Meaning, one is yes, her own commitment is the main thing. She is committed to her growth as a designer, right?
Yeah.
That's obvious. That's what you are sharing. She's so committed. She's diving into it. What were the other things she was kind of exploring on her own? And yes, also, how would you further guide her in that? So yeah, tell us a little more. This is
Yeah.
exciting.
So when we look at the logo designing part, there are so many elements going to that. The colors, the technique, the what kind of logo it should be. Is it like a single letter word or a full word, single letter logo, or what all dynamic logo? So there are so many variants to it. So she is finding out what variants, and she's putting those things in a picture form. Then she decides.
Mm,
And not only that, after that, she has to put it forward to the client. How she mails the client, how she proposes it, how she puts a deadline, and how she reaches those deadlines, communicating with the client. There are so many things inside that. And I've seen her
mm,
writing that mail, what she is writing. So every word she is doing, what she's using, they're all like very professional. So I've not seen anybody doing it like that in her age without um, going to a design institute. She's learning everything by herself. That's the best part.
right. Okay, and since you already mentioned about her or different CoVersity members doing, these project or client-based project, so one of the core concept of CoVersity is that the youth work on actual projects and they work to learn rather than learning to work. They actually work with the real clients. And so, how has been your experience of how these youths are doing work and doing actual real work, and how is that kind of helping them?
So basically, when I'll talk about Shreya because I worked closely with her. So when she first got the project, she got onto the work. So then
Hmm.
slowly she's understanding, okay, this is the steps. These are the steps which I need to take. She's writing down those steps for herself and following those. And then she's figuring out all the, what do you say, once she gets into the work, she is understanding the difficulties of it, what all she has to go through it. But maybe she wouldn't have talked about it to the client earlier. So she's figuring that out. So I should tell this next time beforehand. So she's
Hmm.
finding all those kind of small things while she's working on those. And then when it comes to costing, how to cost her project, she doesn't know that. She's figuring that
Hmm.
out. How do I price my project? So she can depend on the client to give the amount, or she can propose an amount. So she's figuring out all those things, how to propose that amount, because this is new for her. She doesn't want to lose the client. She doesn't want to do, say, wrong things to them. So she's finding out each thing, and then she's taking those steps. And every step she's taking it correctly. I'm observing it. And sometimes she feels, okay, I should have done it that way. But she learned it and she remembers for the next time. So that's how she's learning.
So where does this focus or this kind of clarity, where is that coming from? Me, I'm amazed, as you are saying, at these youth getting so much clarity and so much direction. So apart from, yeah, Mini, so okay, let me just ask you, where is it coming from?
I think the passion which she
Hmm.
has for whatever she's doing, she figured that out. Initially, she tried so many different ways of designing. In designing, there are so many different types. So she figured what suits her, what she likes most, and then she stuck onto it. And from there, she's doing more things. That way, she's focused. Her passion is driving her to do like work in focus, full focus. I think
And
we
do you
can
think
see that.
the passion gets amplified because they're doing actual work? It is meaningful, it is relevant, and it's also going to get them money, as in they're earning.
Exactly.
Not in the sense of
Yeah.
lots of money, but you just feel at 16, 18 years, that's a big deal, right? To be
Exactly.
able to
And
monetize your value.
once she finished one project, she was like so happy, and she came to me and she was like, yeah, I got paid for it and this much I got. And she was so happy, and she was showing me what all she did, her website, and what all she's doing with that client. She was explaining me. So that excitement comes with the returns which she's getting from the client. Not only money, but the feedback they give, the whatever they keep telling her, you have done this professionally, you've done this, I'll give you reference to somebody else. All those things, those are all work for her. Those are all pushing her to do more.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, and then also I want you to talk about this. So it's called coversity, which obviously means that it's all these youth coming together. It's like a cohort. It's like their own group, and they're kind of working on it together. That's why it's a co. They co-create, they co-facilitate. So how have you seen that happening between the various coversity members, the youth in that cohort?
So initially, like when all this started, I joined, I mean, I started looking at CoVersity. So there are all these kids, some of them are from writers cohorts, and some of them are like a film cohort and design cohort, all these. So I've seen them coming together, talking and deciding on one project and taking their responsibilities. Writers cohort take up some writing part of that project, Design cohort takes up the colors, branding, or all those kind of things. The filming cohort decides on how to do that video and present it. So like that, they're all sitting together and discussing and working on one project. So that's how
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
are all sitting together and they're figuring it out through each other and helping each other to learn new things.
Okay. And what else? What else you think this whole or being together does to them? So this is what they are doing, but what does it does to each individual?
See, when they are sitting alone and doing, their ideas are
Hmm.
like limited. They have some
Okay.
ideas, but they are limited.
Hmm.
But when they are
Hmm.
talking these ideas with the other person gives more suggestions. So that way, if they have three, four people, all three, four people talking about one thing, they are coming up with so many ideas. And they're trying out all those things to figure out which works well. So that's
Hmm.
how
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
core thing really helps. Because if you sit alone, your ideas are one or two. With a group, you have 10 ideas. It's like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the collaborative energy that they get it.
And
Okay.
and they are
Uh,
learning
yeah,
and they
yeah.
are learning teamwork. They are learning
Hmm.
how to be in a team. So when they go
Right.
to real world, everybody has that question. I saw that, like when they go to real world, real job, how will they survive? But they're learning all those things first hand by themselves. So if they get a job or if they get into some kind of earning stream, so they know how to do it already.
Hmm. 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 Yeah. So then in that sense, they are like not just job ready, they are colleagues ready and they're team ready and they are like the
Everything
whole
ready.
whole work ready.
Yeah, yeah, and they know how to quote a price. To
Right.
a client, that is the most challenging thing for anybody, to quote a price to a client and get that amount and talk to the client, how to talk to the client, all that they're learning. And
Hmm.
I've
Hmm.
been a consultant and freelancer. I've learned it in a very hard way. I've seen a hardship, like I've failed a lot and then I've learned. But these kids already have that opportunity. They're sitting together and they're learning everything by themselves at this young age. So that's the best part.
Yeah, but they're not only learning by themselves, they are being guided by people like you. So tell us a little about this whole guiding, mentoring. How does that happen in CoVersity? A lot of parents are very curious about, okay, as the child can lead himself or herself, can do a lot of industry work, can work together. But what about guidance and mentoring? So tell us from your side as to how does that work and how does that add value to their journey?
Okay, as I earlier said, they generally work by themselves, but I'm a guide there. So as a guide, I'm standing next to them and I'm ready when they have any question, because I am
Hmm.
already in the industry. I know better, like more things than them. Better, I won't say
Sure.
better because they know many things better than me. So I know a little more. So I'm there to guide them. Like when they have any question, how do I do this? Then I
Hmm.
tell them, okay, maybe you can try it this way.
Hmm.
Slowly I
Hmm.
understood that I cannot give them, okay, do it this way. I cannot do that.
Yeah.
That I
Yeah.
understood. Because they don't want it. They clearly show
Yeah.
it. Don't give me
Yeah.
that. So they just need one push. Like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe you can try it this way. And every time if they want to fall back, we are there. I'm there.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
Yeah.
That's the role of the guide. As far as I see it, that's how it is. You have to be next to them and be ready and give them support.
Okay. And when they so one is the support part, and uh, what about the more self kind of a support? One is the technical kind of support. Yes, Arpita can help in designing. A programmer uncle can help in programming, and so on, depending on different fields. But what about, I also, as an individual, each youth, even at my age, I go through emotions, ups and downs, and certain blocks and certain breaks in my working, and I think, oh God, how will this happen? Or why can't I be like this? So do they also, how do they relate to guides in for those kind of areas? Because those are equally important. I would say
Completely.
the self part of it.
Yes, I completely agree with you. I've seen their frustrated days. They're like,
Mm.
no, I don't want to do it. What is this? I just don't like it right now. All that I've seen clearly. I stood next to that person physically and I've seen their frustration. So
So do they
I
come back to you with these self problems or frustrations or
yes,
whatever it is?
yes, they do. They do come back. And
Can you give us an example? Not necessarily quoting names here.
yeah. So when a client says something and like
Hmm,
some
hmm.
points they give, and this person works on those points, but when they go back, client add more things, saying no,
Okay.
not this, not this, not this. So this person worked so hard according to their inputs, and again they are like, oh, this is all wrong. I this have to be scrapped, and I have to start working again. So that's the frustration I've seen, the highest frustration there. And they come to me, and I spoke to them. It's okay. These things happen. You have to relax, take a break, all those kind of things. I have to give that emotional support also. And then
Hmm.
how to start again. So they are like
Okay.
frustrated, so they
Yeah.
don't know how to go about it again. So initial
Hmm.
starting point, if we give, you just start like
Yeah.
this. Then they pick up. And again, they're in the flow. They're not like they're giving up on this. They're back to work
Right.
again.
Right.
So it's like that.
Maybe a little starting current.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then they kind of get started full on.
Yes.
Okay. So, what else? What else would you like to share with? I'm sure there are parents or youth who are watching this now or in as a recording. So, what would be your message about this option? Obviously, we are only trying to make people aware of this option of Cohversity, where you lead your own journey with like-minded youth, but you design, you lead, you do industry work. So what would your kind of message be to them, or thoughts? Not necessarily like one punchline, but more like some
Thoda
of your
story.
thoughts. Yeah.
हाँ, हाँ.
Thoda sa.
So actually, ultimately, in my age, we had only certain professions given to us. Like ye karo,
Hmm.
I don't want to name them, but yeah, there are only 3, 4 things which we are like given to us. And
Hmm.
figuring out what we like, what I like, was a big tough task for me. It took me a lot of time, and I went through so many changes. So when we
Hmm.
come to Cohversity, that is where you have this opportunity to explore and figure out what you like. And,
Hmm.
and not wasting so many years like how I wasted. I don't say wasted, but I figured out very
Sure.
late. So if
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
had
Hmm.
this opportunity in the beginning, like when I was a youth, like 20s, 14 to 20 or something, then it would have
Hmm.
been a great thing for me.
Hmm.
I would say I would have saved 10 years, 10 to 15 years of my life, and got into my passion and worked so hard into it, and become a best of myself in that passion, whatever passion I had. So that's what I feel.
Hmm.
University helps that. So initially, at initial stage itself, if you try it, then you will figure out what you know you want, and you do it. So that's the whole point. We
Yeah.
all want to do what we love,
What
but
we
we don't do
want.
it.
Yeah.
We don't do it. Most of us don't do it.
Most of us need to find it first.
Yes, I was not
Yes,
doing
yes, yes.
my whatever I loved for some years, but now I'm
Yeah.
doing what I love.
Luckily.
Yeah.
So you are the lucky people who have found their calling and are
Yes.
doing that. So you are
Yes.
saying why not give that as a gift to the youth
Youth.
for them at this stage only to start finding out what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've recently met one of my friend's daughter who's into this age group. She's trying to figure out what she wants, but
Hmm.
her parents are influencing her not to figure out. Like they know only this profession, and this profession. You choose one of this. That's
Right,
it.
right.
The kid doesn't like anything, but she's figuring out, maybe I work this, and maybe with this I'll do. She's like all confused. So I would
Hmm.
suggest parents not to confuse the kid, let them decide.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful point to end with. Let the kids decide. They are the leaders. Um, okay, so Akansha is asking exactly the same question. How do you find? She's saying, how do you find what you want to take forward as a profession? She's saying, I'm really confused. So, yeah, what would you say to Akansha?
So, Akansha, first you need to have an idea of what you like. Maybe if you like 10 things, write them down, all 10 things. Then narrow it
Hmm.
down. What is the most liked from among those? Then narrow it down even more, even more. So, you can try them. Like if you get like 4 items, if you have narrowed it down to 4 things, so try all
So
four
10 to
and
4
see.
we come. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Try
one by
all
one we
four.
try it out. Yeah,
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 then you will know, okay, this one I love most, this maybe not, so choose this and just get into that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
maybe after a year or two you might not like this again, so again you choose
yeah.
the other things and try again. So that's
And
the,
you've already tried them before, so
you
you
know,
know what it is.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
So
So
that's
Akansha,
how it works.
how old are you? If you can share that, because I think I'm assuming you are you are one of the youth in that age group, one of the teenagers. And if you are in that age group, then you need to realize that this is your age to explore. Explore not just at a surface level, but explore it deeply. Right. And yes, and take your time to go about and exploring each one till, as Arpita is saying, you realize, this is the one that I want to take forward. So she's going to turn 14. So she's like, exactly, that's the age group we are talking
Yes.
about. So I would say all 14 to 21-year-olds, you are lucky. You are at that age when you have the space to explore. See, when I'm 30 years old, I'm more thinking about how to run my family. I'm not thinking so much about can I explore for another 4 years what I want to do. That's really not on my mind. But for you all, when you are at that age of 14 to 21, you are really there in terms of being able to explore. So that's superb. And as Arpita was saying, from 10, bring it down to the 3, 4 most favorite, and each one try deeply. And that's what Cohversity offers you, to
Yes.
try each one deeply till you see this is the one I want to take forward. And because you have experienced the others, you can always go back to them later in your life. Super. So that's been amazing. So last one word, Arpita, for the whole group, and we'll close this live call. Whatever,
Okay.
one word that comes to your mind for the youth, for people like Akansha who are 14 to 21.
Explore. Explore is the word. Right now, they
Okay.
have to explore. Ratnesh, as you said, that is the thing they should do. And to all parents also, I would say, let them explore and figure what they like. That's what I would say.
Super. So that's an high five to you. Okay, thank you everybody for joining, who have joined and who is watching it later. And we keep doing these live sessions, so keep connecting with us, and do check out the Coversity website. Okay, and yes, we'll keep connecting and meeting. And thank you, Arpita, once again for
I,
this
I would
wonderful
like
live
to
session.
tell them to follow Aarohi Coversity's page also, so
Oh
that they
yes,
can
oh
get
yes,
updates.
yes, yes. Thank
Okay.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.